Hello, it's Saturday the 6th of June. You're tuned in to our 6 p.m. newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. It's very good to have you with us on this Memorial Day here in Korea. I'm Mark Broom. We start with the latest developments regarding the outbreak of Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, or MERS, in Korea. No new deaths have been reported in over 36 hours, but the number of confirmed MERS cases has risen by 9 to 50. Some welcome news, though, as a handful of patients are starting to be discharged from hospital after making full recoveries. Ji-yeon starts us off.
The country's first confirmed MERS patient may soon be discharged. The Korea Center for Disease Control and Prevention says the patient's condition has significantly improved after overcoming a severe bout of pneumonia. The patient's wife, who contracted MERS from her husband, was discharged from the hospital on Friday after making a complete recovery. There's currently no cure or vaccine for the virus, but officials say both cases indicate people with strong immune systems can recover from MERS. Health authorities have also confirmed the MERS virus spreading in Korea is the same strain as the one that infected hundreds in Saudi Arabia. This is being seen as a welcome development, as there have been fears the virus might have mutated, making it more devastating and harder to contain. However, despite the country's efforts to contain the spread, the number of confirmed MERS cases continues to rise. An additional 9 new MERS patients were confirmed as of Saturday afternoon, bringing the total to 50. 7 of the 50 confirmed patients came from the Samsung Medical Center in southern Seoul, raising concerns the MERS virus could be spreading in the region. In response, Seoul Mayor Park Won-soon is demanding some local hospitals reveal information about the MERS patients they're treating and who they have been in contact with. Park added he may exercise his power as mayor to remedy the situation if the information is not shared with the public. Earlier this week, Park criticized the health ministry for not releasing information regarding a local doctor who contracted the virus and went to a large-scale conference in Seoul.
The city hopes to work with the central government, but in this situation, we can't just sit back and wait. We've decided to establish our own task force with an epidemiological investigation party comprised of medical experts and administrative officials.
The health ministry says it plans to announce more hospital names as early as Sunday, after it released the name of one of the hospitals earlier this week. The ministry says it's concerned that releasing the information indiscriminately could prevent those suspected of contracting the virus from promptly getting a checkup or reporting themselves to the authorities. More than 1,800 people are currently isolated in their homes or under quarantine at medical facilities. Ji-yeon, Arirang News.
Today marks the 60th Memorial Day Korea has observed for the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for their country. Some memorial events around the nation were cancelled as a precautionary measure against the MERS outbreak, but the main ceremony in Seoul went ahead as planned. Na Hyung-kyung reports.
At 10 a.m. sharp, with the sound of a siren and a 21-gun salute, Koreans observed a moment of silence to pay tribute to those who gave their lives to bring freedom and peace to the Korean peninsula. This year's memorial ceremony held more significance in that it marked the 60th anniversary since the government declared June 6th as a national memorial holiday. And despite the fears about the MERS virus, many visitors and families of the fallen heroes came out to the National Cemetery in Seoul today to honor those who sacrificed their lives for the country.
I'll come here every year with my children until the day I die. I thank not only my brother, but everyone buried here because they devoted themselves to making Korea a more prosperous nation. I'm the only one still alive among our siblings. I believe it's my duty to come here every single year while I still can to pay respect to my brother.
Over 170,000 martyrs, patriots, and prominent figures, including former presidents, are laid to rest at the Seoul National Cemetery, which was established in 1955. And for the first time, 5 family members of the fallen took part in the flower-laying ceremony along with the president. 5 Korean War veterans, 3 of whom are women, received Men of Merit status today as well. Although some events, including one at the Daejeon National Cemetery, were cancelled due to the MERS outbreak, today was the day for Koreans to remember that the freedom they sometimes take for granted could never have been realized without the sacrifices of the brave men and women who came before them. 나현경, Arirang News.
President Park Geun-hye used her Memorial Day speech to call for national unity as the country faces some tough challenges, including the containment of the MERS outbreak. She also had a message for North Korea. Ji-yeon reports.
In the wake of the MERS outbreak and political and social divisions in the country, President Park Geun-hye called for national unity for the sake of peace and prosperity on the Korean peninsula.
지금 우리는 안팎으로 많은 어려움과 도전에 직면하고 있습니다. 지금 여기서 우리나라가 흔들리게 되면 우리의 미래도 후손들에게 물려줄 자산도 없게 될 것입니다.
Marking the 60th Memorial Day, the president said Korea developed and prospered when the nation came together in unity, but faced a crisis when there was division and conflict among the people. She then highlighted public support for the government's efforts to guarantee public safety and to breathe new life into the economy. Attributing the sacrifices made by patriotic martyrs and fallen heroes to the freedom and prosperity many South Koreans enjoy today, President Park said their contributions should be honored through inter-Korean unification.
조국을 위해 희생하신 분들의 뜻을 궁극적으로 계승하는 길은 한반도의 평화통일이라고 생각합니다.
She also urged Pyongyang to end its nuclear and missile provocations.
북한은 지금이라도 세계 모든 나라가 우려하고 반대하는 핵무장을 포기하고 하루속히 대화와 협력의 장으로 나와서 우리와 함께 한반도 평화와 공동 번영의 길로 나아가기 바랍니다.
In memory of those who sacrificed their lives for the country, President Park vowed to continue projects such as reopening Korea's provisional government offices during Japanese colonial rule in Shanghai and Chongqing. 최유선, Arirang News.
A US official has admitted that if North Korea goes ahead with plans to launch a satellite into orbit, but does so from a third country, the regime could technically sidestep UN resolutions banning it from conducting ballistic missile tests. Speaking to Voice of America, a US State Department official said North Korea would not strictly be breaking international law if it took that route, responding to a report out of Pyongyang this week that said the regime was prepping the launch of a new satellite. State Department spokeswoman Marie Harf said any launch that uses ballistic missile technology would be a violation of multiple UN resolutions. Around 3 years ago now, North Korea launched a long-range rocket, putting what it said was a satellite into orbit. South Korea and Japan will hold a second round of talks on Tuesday to try and resolve a brewing row over Tokyo's bid to inscribe industrial facilities linked to wartime Korean slave labour as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The Foreign Ministry says Korea's ambassador for cultural and UNESCO affairs, Choi Jong-moon, will lead the Korean delegation, while Jun Shin-mi, the Japanese Foreign Ministry's Director General for Cultural Affairs, will represent his country at the talks in Seoul. Now, little progress was made the first time the delegations met in Tokyo on May 22nd. In its bid to have 23 industrial facilities inscribed on UNESCO's list, Japan initially marked them as being operational from 1850 to 1910. Now, this angered Seoul since nearly 60,000 Koreans were forced to work at 7 of the sites during the Second World War. The final decision will be made during a meeting of the World Heritage Committee early next month in Germany. Korea's exports have been on the slide since the second half of last year, but Korea isn't the only country feeling the heat. A new report by the World Trade Organization shows Korea's exports in terms of dollar value tumbled almost 3% on year in the first quarter. An official at Korea Central Bank says exports were hit by slowing growth in China and falling unit prices stemming from low oil prices. The WTO report says the United States, the world's biggest economy, saw its exports drop nearly 2 percentage points from the previous quarter to 1% during the first 2 months of the year. Japan, Germany and France also fared badly. The report also warns global trade dropped over 1.4% on quarter in the first 3 months of this year, the biggest drop since the height of the 2008 global financial crisis. The number of people killed in the Chinese cruise ship disaster has reached 396. This, according to state media in that country. 46 people remain unaccounted for but presumed dead. Rescuers are scouring the cabins of the vessel, which was righted and raised on Friday, hoping to find the remaining bodies trapped inside. Only 14 survivors, one of them the captain, were found after the ship carrying 456 people sank on Monday night. The operator of the Eastern Star ship has apologized and says it will cooperate with the investigations. The Chinese government has vowed to ensure there is a transparent probe into the incident, one of the worst maritime disasters in China's history. Now, before we go, taking a brief look at the weather here in Korea. And even more, very warm and sunny conditions are in store for Sunday across the whole of the country. We can expect daytime highs across the country to reach the upper 20s to low 30s under mostly blue skies. And we'll see similar weather stretching well into next week as well. For now, though, let's take a look at the weather conditions around the world. Well, that's all we have for now. Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday, wherever you're watching us, and do stay tuned to Arirang TV. We'll be back again with our next newscast at 10 p.m. Korea time. Till then, goodbye.